Without him, yes.
Did he come in here on a ramp?
He got an Uber.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Ashley, would you please call the roll?
Brian Bobeck,
Here.
Randy Gilbert,
Here.
Leonard McCullough,
Here.
Rob Seaman,
Here.
Superintendent Fields.
Here.
Quorum achieved.
Okay, we have a quorum. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join me in the salute to the Oklahoma flag. I
Salute the flag of the state of Oklahoma. Its symbols of peace unite all people.
Please be seated. Thank you. Ashley, I'd like to acknowledge Michael Brown's at the meeting.
Thank you.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We apologize for the delay. We had some technical difficulties. We won't be live on YouTube today, but we're recording the meeting and it'll be available for the public by the end of the day. Again, thanks everybody for being here. It's been a cold, snowy week. I was telling the director that snow days for my daughter, kind of like going out of town. One night's really good, two's okay, but three's too darn many. So Eva's back to school this Friday, and I hope most kids in the state are. So we have a little bit to cover here. I think it will go pretty quickly today. Just thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. Director, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Superintendent. Thank you, board members, for attending. I'll be pretty brief. Really excited this week of some things that are going on. We are, for the first time in a long time, or maybe ever, getting a great deal of feedback from all over the state through our strategic planning. Several of you were on that yesterday. Gina's done a great job heading that up. So if you still want to be a part and haven't got to, we're looking at exploring with them. Gina, you correct me if I'm wrong, if we can make phone calls or set up another time for some board members that could not attend yesterday. If you have a survey and would like to fill that out, it's very helpful also. We've had great feedback from those surveys that we've sent out to the public. And this week will mark session, this next week will mark session starting. So State of the State address will kick off Monday. And we are ramping up with a lot of activity with legislators. So that's taking a lot of our time. Also, spring is CTSO season. So you will see a lot of different invites and opportunities to see students perform and or show off their projects. So that's really what the spring is all about while we plan for next year. So you'll be seeing a lot of those highlights as I send out my bi-weekly coverage. So ask questions along the way. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Director. So we'd like to move on to our minutes, discussion and possible action on the minutes of December 18, 2025. I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Thank you. Got a motion in a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Sorry, Ashley. Okay, moving on to item number 2, management information. I'd like to recognize Ms. Gina Hubbard, our Director of Statewide Outreach, discussion regarding the notice of rulemaking intent for proposed rule changes. Ms. Hubbard?
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. Really appreciate you being here today so we can get the rules finalized for this season of rules. As you know, we've already had a public comment time. We've had a public hearing. There have been no changes to these rules since the first time you heard them back in the fall. And so I would entertain any questions or be happy to go over the summaries if you wish. Otherwise, I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Ms. Hubbard. Mr. Bobeck, did you have a question?
Well, I just wanted to say for the executive overview that, and by the way, excellent job of putting everything together for us in advance. Thank you for that. Really what you all have done is just to abide by statute, any changes that have been made and clean things up and make things more efficient. Right? That's really the main takeaway from the changes, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
So I don't have a question, but unless my colleagues do, I do move to approve.
Second.
So what was the motion on?
2-1, do we need a motion to approve?
I don't believe we need it.
Isn't that 301 where we go to approval?
Yeah, I think that
That
there
was
wasn't an
present.
action item on that particular, that was an information only. So thank you. Got a little ahead of ourselves.
No. Yeah, now we'll move to
Move.
3.1, and that's where we'll take action.
Okay, as we move into these, are we going to prefer to take action on each one of these individually? You can just move to accept as outlined. For the record. For all of these? Okay. That'd be great. To expedite things, we're just going to do one motion for all, if that's okay with everybody we'll get the language together just real quick.
So it'd be 301 through 305.
And that was the intent of the motion.
Oh, I gotcha. You guys stop. Sorry, Mr. Bobek. Okay.
He's gonna move to adjourn next.
And you're going to second it.
Right. All right, friends. So I'll make a motion for final adoption of the permanent rule changes that have been set forth in the notice of the rulemaking intent published on the Oklahoma Register, volume 43, number 6 on December 1st, 2025, with no changes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Ashley, please call the roll.
Mr. Brian Bobeck,
Yes.
Michael Brown,
Yes.
Randy Gilbert, Leonard McCullough,
Yes.
Rob Seaman,
Yes.
Superintendent Fields.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you all so much.
Nice work, Gina. Thank you.
It'll be me, not Justin. So
Okay, I'm going to move us on to item 3.06, discussion and possible action on mid-year personnel report. I'd like to recognize Director Hagan for the report.
thank you, Superintendent. We made changes instead of Lockwood or HR presenting, it'll be me today because we're doing a lot of interviews at the agency today. And since it was a special board meeting, I asked for them to continue that moving forward. You have a report in your packet. I believe we're 3 pages long there of the actions that have taken place since the last date that we approved. I'd be happy to discuss any of those items, but I think everything is detailed there for you. Would defer to questions or discussion and would recommend approval.
Thank you, sir. You have the report in front of you. Is there a motion to approve? Thank you, sir. Is there a second? Thank you. Any discussion? Okay. Ashley, please call the roll.
Rob Seaman,
Yes.
Leonard McCullough,
Yes.
Randy Gilbert,
Yes.
Michael Brown,
Yes.
Brian Bobeck,
Yes.
Superintendent Fields.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to 3.07, discussion and possible action of full post-secondary accreditation for Chisholm Trail Technology Center. I'd like to recognize Mr. Joey Bannock.
Good morning. The accreditation team had a great round of visits this last fall. We wrapped up at the beginning of December. We had over 190 examiners that worked with us this year from the agency and from 26 technology centers. So we appreciate all of our tech centers for sending their staff to be part of this process. The first thing I'm going to do is just go through the process that our tech centers go through, so you understand kind of what that looked like on their end. And then I'll go recommendation by recommendation for each of the tech centers here. The examiners evaluated all aspects of the technology center's operations using the quality standards approved by this board and listed in the accreditation guidelines. These standards address leadership and administration, instruction and training, support services, measurement and analysis, personnel, operations, and system impact. The accreditation staff also conducted technical visits for financial aid, safety, and civil rights before the visit to help Technology Center staff prepare. Examiners began by reviewing the application the Technology Center submitted. They also interviewed Technology Center administrators, certified and support staff, students, and stakeholders. The stakeholders interviewed included business and industry representatives, community leaders, partner school administrators, teachers, and parents of students attending the technology centers. Interviews were conducted by virtual group interviews and individual on-site interviews. Examiners also observed all program areas. If approved, the technology centers will have 90 days to submit a continuous improvement plan addressing one opportunity for improvement for each of the 6 quality standards. Agency staff will monitor the progress towards the completion of these and provide technical assistance as needed. So first, we have Chisholm Trail Technology Center. On September 9th through 11th, the Accreditation Division conducted a hybrid accreditation review at Chisholm Trail Technology Center in Omega, Oklahoma. The accreditation team was comprised of 19 examiners. During the review, examiners interviewed 24 stakeholders, and examiners found no areas of non-compliance. We recommend that the board grant full accreditation status to Chisholm Trail Technology Center. And with that, Mr. Thomas, the superintendent's here, if he has anything to add, or if you have questions for either of us.
Good morning. First thing I want to say is this process, it is very lengthy. It does take a lot of time. We begin working about 18 months in advance of our accreditation to put this together. But what I will say is there's a lot of value that comes through that process. As we were putting our document together, it really forced us to look at some things and data and other things that typically fall to the bottom of the list when you're running a district, and really opened our eyes to some things that we feel like we can improve on. I will say that the feedback that we get is really where the value is in this process, not just our programs and our internal processes. I really feel like the most valuable feedback is what comes from our stakeholders, our sending school superintendents, our business community, where they feel like we're doing well, where they feel like maybe we can improve. That feedback, oftentimes they wouldn't tell you personally, but they will share that with an examiner. And so we've already begun to take this information and implement it into our district. Areas where we feel like we can improve as a district, and areas where we feel like we're doing well, we want to continue to make that an emphasis within our communities. And so, again, I want to thank the State Department. It's a very professional process. The examiners were great, very fair in their examinations, and the leadership at the State Department as well. And then Dan Craig, who's on staff with me, was a vital piece of what you see was put together along with our staff. And so we're a staff of 35. Nobody escapes the accreditation process on a staff that small. One thing we did emphasize on this process, we are in Omega, Oklahoma, so I was glad that every examiner found Omega. The closest restaurant is 15 miles in either direction, so we made sure we fed them really well throughout the 2 days that they were on site. But again, I think everybody kind of breathes a sigh of relief when it's over, but there is a lot of value in the process, and there is a lot of value in the feedback that we receive. And that'll really be a beacon for us over the next 5 years and where we need to grow and what we need to continue to do. So thank you.
Mr. Thomas, could you maybe, since you're here and you drove from Omega or probably close to there, maybe 90-second, how are things? Are you growing? New programs, any highlights that?
We are growing. We just added our 10th program this year. We added an electrical trades program. We built a new building. It also allowed us to expand our welding program. And then when we moved out of our old welding building, we turned that into a full-time construction trades program. We're serving about 42% of our juniors and seniors this year, which was a record for us. We've got some communities that have moved over 50% of their students are with us. And so that's been exciting to see. Obviously, it's a great need across the state to have more and more students served. And so we've been excited to be able to do that. Added our 5th school. We're the smallest tech center in the state. If you're not aware, we serve a pretty small rural population, but we feel like those relationships are really deep and really close and within our communities. We added our 5th school of Thomas Fay Custer 2 years ago. They've done really well with us. We hope to continue to grow in the future as a district with some white space that surrounds us. So,
Congratulations. What millage are you voting in?
we're 10 general and 2 building.
2 building.
Mhm. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Gilbert?
Key phrase is you serve a small rural area.
Yes.
So that's critical and that's vital. So thank you for what you're doing. And seeing your area. So thank you guys.
Yep. Thank you.
Superintendent, thank you for being here today and appreciate your guys' work. And I'm going to ask Superintendent Redmond the same question, but this came up from a part of what the survey we had yesterday was a question, or the conversation we had yesterday about what the CareerTech locations are actually doing with your, I'm going to use the term corporate partners in your community to develop that relationship and that workforce pipeline and building out programs for their needs. And then even beyond, getting their buy-in for specific needs they may have in the future. This would help overall for the state see commerce and bringing businesses in. So my question would be around that is, what do you have people on your staff? I know it's a small staff, I know it's a small community, but that are focused on developing that, and tell us a little bit about what that looks like, would you?
Sure. I'll use a recent example. Pioneer Telephone, they now go by Pioneer. They serve about 46 counties in the state of Oklahoma. We just did about a $500,000 training project with them with the federal broadband money that came to the state. We were able to capture some of that and train with them for about 1.5 years. They needed CDL drivers. They were really the main driver for us putting in a CDL training facility. Our computer network and repair program, actually, everyone in their tier 1 department has come through that program that was built to serve Pioneer Telephone. So in our area, we don't have a lot of large employers. We've got a lot of small business, but they are one of the larger employers. They've got, I think, over 450 employees across the state. We do their safety training statewide. We'll travel to Hollis to do some of that. And so we've got a great relationship with them. That's probably one of the best examples I can give you, is not only have we felt like we've been able to impact them, they've been able to drive some change on our campus for needs that they needed to be served in. And so we feel like we're a big piece of what they do, and we want to continue to be in the future.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And Superintendent and Director, part of the conversation yesterday was around the balance of, what the state's involvement to do what I just described and developing those partnerships versus the individual schools. So that's kind of what, and we'll hear from Ms. Superintendent Redmond in a minute, but thank you for that. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everybody. Any more questions? Thank you, Superintendent. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Do we need to vote on this one?
Yes.
Okay. I would entertain a motion for discussion and possible action, full post-secondary accreditation for Chisholm Trail Technology Center.
Move to approve.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
Any more discussion? Ashley, would you please call the roll?
Brian Bobeck,
Yes.
Michael Brown,
Yes.
Randy Gilbert, Leonard McCullough,
Yes.
Rob Seaman,
Yes.
Superintendent Fields.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on to discussion and possible action for full post-secondary accreditation for Moore Norman Technology Center.
Perfect. So on September 23rd through 25th, the Accreditation Division conducted a hybrid accreditation review at Moore Norman Technology Center in Norman, Oklahoma, including their South Penn campus. The examiner team was comprised of 28 examiners. During the review, examiners interviewed 31 stakeholders, and examiners found no areas of noncompliance. We recommend that the board grant full accreditation status to Moore Norman Technology Center. Mr. Ruttman, the superintendent's here if he has anything to add or if you have questions for either of us.
Well, good morning.
Morning.
And I think that Mr. Thomas did a wonderful job of describing the process. So I'm not going to go into much detail, but I do concur. It's a very valuable process. We learn things from it every time we do it. I would like to introduce some members of my team that were very instrumental. Much like he said, this isn't a process that we start a week out. This starts a year plus in advance on us planning this. So Ms. Gayla Brown, Mr. Kyle Williams, and Ms. Terry Helvey were all very instrumental in coordinating this effort. And two of them said they will not be around in the next 5 years for another one. I don't know if it had anything to do with the accreditation process, but I would entertain any questions that you all have.
Thank you.
So Superintendent, would you also address my questions about
Absolutely.
how you guys are partnering? Thank you.
I'll use a couple of examples. One that's been going on for a couple of years now has been with the Oklahoma Aviation Academy. It's a partnership between our K-12 partners, our higher ed partner, and the University of Oklahoma and Moore Norman Technology Center. But we've brought to the table Boeing, Northrop Grumman, and other industry partners to develop what we call the Oklahoma Aviation Academy. That is a statewide program founded in Norman Public Schools, but that does serve statewide in the interest of expanding the aerospace industry. Our focus at Moore Norman is around the aviation maintenance technology. University of Oklahoma is pilot engineers, and then just kind of in that national weather component. Our partners in Norman Public Schools just really want to expand that there. That was kind of the start of a partnership with Boeing that expanded into some things we're doing with them with their existing engineering team. Many of the engineers that they hire come in, they can use the computers, they can model it, they can say, in theory, this is how it's going to work. But what we find out a lot of times is until they get in there and they put it into practice, sometimes that theory works, but maybe in practice it does not. We are doing kind of a modified aviation maintenance technician training program for the engineers at Boeing, where they come out, they work side by side with our aviation maintenance technician students. They're learning those same hands-on skills. And eventually that will be a certificate program that Boeing will use for their engineers in hopes of expanding that knowledge base and really putting out a better product. Through that partnership, they've engaged with our pre-engineering students. They've engaged with other programs that we have on campus. And this year we received an $825,000 grant from Boeing to put in what we call an Avid Lab. It's using augmented reality, 3D printing. The only other ones here in the state are at Boeing. And there's only a handful of them around the country. It'll be used by about 20 different industry partners in the aerospace industry, including Boeing, as well as the University of Oklahoma, Moore Norman Technology Center, Moore Public Schools, and Norman Public Schools will all have access to that Avid Lab to really see firsthand what we're doing in that aviation industry. That partnership has continued to expand between Southwest Airlines and Boeing. We're in the process of taking possession of a 737-700 that will be housed at our Franklin Road campus in Norman, Oklahoma, where we are constructing a 30,000 square foot facility that will house the Avid Lab as well as a fully intact 737-100 airplane that'll be used for training purposes for anyone in the state that wants to come in. We're calling it the Aero XL Center. It's the Aerospace Experiential Learning Center, where anyone can come in and get that hands-on experience on that plane. We were able to visit Boeing and see how they use a B-52 bomber in essentially that same way. Much larger plane than what we will have, but an example of how that benefits them. Their engineers are actually able to go in, modify things on that plane, test it before they send it out into the field. One project saves over $600,000 for them, and the ability to go in and test it before they send it out to retrofit those planes in the field. So it's something that does benefit industry, but we see a significant benefit to our education partners as well.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thanks so much for that.
Other questions?
That's wonderful, Brian. Thank you very much. Any other questions? Okay, great.
Thank you, Brian.
I'd entertain a motion to approve accreditation.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Bobeck. Mr. Brown, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Thank you. Thank you.
Any discussion? Before we call the vote, Joey, just curious, your accreditation teams that you put together, you having any trouble recruiting or getting folks on the teams?
No, last year, I think in total, we had over 200 actually apply. A couple had to drop out for business reasons. If anything, I'm kind of concerned that since we only have 4 schools this year, there's going to be almost too much interest for the amount of schools we'll need. So it's been great that the tech centers have been supportive of sending their staff members.
I'm sure Brian would volunteer for annual accreditation if you wanted.
Gayla?
Hey, thanks, everybody. We have a motion and a second. Ashley, would you call for the vote? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me just add one thing.
Yes, sir.
Moore Norman came to the Workforce Oklahoma meeting a couple of weeks ago, and they made a great presentation with their partner Boeing. And so what Moore Norman Technology Center is doing is exactly what CareerTech is doing. So I mean, that's what we should be doing. So thank you very much for the partnerships and for the learning phase that you're doing for these students.
Thanks, gang. Yes, motion and second on the floor. Ashley, would you please call the roll?
Rob Seaman,
Yes.
Leonard McCullough,
Yes.
Randy Gilbert,
Yes.
Michael Brown,
Yes.
Brian Bobeck,
Yes.
Superintendent Fields.
Abstain.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to move us on to item 3.09, discussion and possible action on the proposed changes to Exhibit 6, accreditation guidelines. Mr. Meeks, you're recognized.
Good morning. I'm going to apologize in advance. What I have for you is not as exciting as hearing from the technology centers themselves or the actual students like we have the opportunity on occasion, but it is dealing with the accreditation process, and what we're bringing before you today is consideration for Exhibit 6 within our standard guidelines, with our accreditation guidelines. I want to clarify that it's not changing any of the actual guidelines, what I would consider actual guidelines or the standards themselves, but is a revision and some changes to the checklist that we use as an exhibit in that to help our schools providing that documentation for us. Some areas that we're looking at is just clarifying and aligning with the Federal Student Aid Handbook, removing any non-required or unnecessary items from that where we can, clarifying policies and procedures to try to meet federal, state law or guidelines that they have and try to be as clear as we can in that checklist so that the schools know the proper documentation to supply for us. In your packet, I believe you have the proposed revisions to Exhibit 6 document along with the actual checklist item. It is a lengthy document, and we would like to cut that down as much as possible, but we do have certain requirements, especially with federal student aid and civil rights, that we are required to check and make sure we're in compliance with. So it is fairly lengthy, and we'll continue to monitor that and make changes and amendments as we can. But for now, these are the proposed changes to try to help our districts maintain compliance. So I'd entertain any questions or thoughts that you have on that.
Makes any questions? Okay.
Move for approval.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any additional discussion? Ashley, would you please call the roll?
Brian Bobeck,
Yes.
Michael Brown,
Yes.
Leonard McCullough,
Yes.
Randy Gilbert, Rob Seaman,
Yes.
Superintendent Fields.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Meeks.
Thank you.
Very, very much. Okay, move us on to 3.10, discussion and possible action to convene into executive session related to the annual performance and employment of the state director. A motion to move into executive session.
So moved.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Ashley, please call the roll.
Rob Seaman,
Yes.
Leonard McCullough,
Yes.
Randy Gilbert,
Yes.
Michael Brown,
Yes.
Brian Bobeck,
Yes.
Superintendent Fields.
Yes.
Motion carries.
For a minute, if you don't
Okay,
mind.
yeah.
Yeah. That'd be great. Thank you. Oh, also want the director to stay for a minute, if that's okay too. Yes, sir. Hi, Corey.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm hanging. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Let's vote to return to exit from executive session. Is there a second? Got a
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're back to open session. So just wanted to say that we had the opportunity to evaluate the state director over 2 board meetings. We feel like we gave a very thorough evaluation, and we, on behalf of the board, want to say it's an exemplary evaluation. We're very proud of the director and the fine work he's doing. We spent considerable time talking about goals and objectives and opportunities for improvement, and the director is just more than willing to do what it takes to be and continue to lead the top career tech system in the country. So Director, on behalf of the board, thank you for all you're doing. We're just so proud of you and appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you very much. Want to just publicly thank the board for the time put into setting a vision as a team and moving forward as what we want to lead this state with in career tech. CTE is important to the state, important to students, and I appreciate your time and effort into that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So at this time, I would entertain a motion for discussion and possible action regarding items discussed in executive session, including the annual performance review, employment and compensation of the state director. If you could include in the motion as discussed in executive session.
So moved.
Thank you very much. Will that work,
Second.
Mr. May? That work? Okay. Okay, we have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ashley, would you call for the vote, please?
Brian Bobeck,
Yes.
Michael Brown,
Yes.
Randy Gilbert, Leonard McCullough,
Yes.
Rob Seaman,
Yes.
Superintendent Fields.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. This time I entertain a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you being here today. Stay warm this weekend.